Okay, I think it's you can try now. Wait a second. Okay, you can start.
Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. He, she, they, and it, and everything else, and the Zotros, whatever the hell you are. This is the teachers, doctors, rock and roll teachers, doctors, whatever the hell. This is Danny Detchi's show, and I want to introduce the man of the hour, the one and only Danny Detchi, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Elaine. Yes. Yeah. Woo. Thank you for the introduction, Elaine. And okay, I was being recorded. There, we're being recorded, I guess. Okay, we're on. So thank you, Elaine. Oh, Elaine is more people coming in here. Okay, and yeah, thanks. Welcome to Doctors, Teachers, and Rock and Roll show. Come up with my Elaine and myself. We co-produce it, and we're here every month. Every last Wednesday of every month, we're live here, and it's free. And thank you for joining us. By the way, this show is also sponsored by Salesforce. Salesforce, they have the tallest building west of the Mississippi, right here in San Francisco. They have the biggest convention of the year, but nobody knows what they do. Salesforce. And also, what's the other one? There's another sponsor, but it's okay. So cool. All right. Well, let's start out. Okay, I'm gonna start myself a little bit. Well, okay. You know, they say most accidents happen in the home, and that's how I was born. Thank you very much. So, yeah, my parents were our family is kind of too poor, so our parents didn't have enough money to take us to the aquarium, so they took us to Red Lobster. Yeah, the host said, "Part you for?" No, just looking. Yeah. So cool. Gee, let's see what else is happening. I'm trying to remember all the other news. Oh yeah, yeah. You know, a lot of the kids shows nowadays are you know, like the educational shows. You know, like Blue's Clues and Barney the Dinosaur and Sesame Street. Our educational shows when I was a kid were shows like the Three Stooges and Looney Tunes, where we learn real life things like you know, never put a bowling ball on the top shelf, or don't use a toaster when you're in the bathtub, and you know, don't mix the candles with the TNT, you know, things like that. You learn things like that. So, and yeah, also we had these Band-Aids. I'm not sure they still have the cartoon Band-Aids when I was a kid. Yeah, they had like the Flintstones and Rocky Bullwinkle and Looney Tunes Band-Aids. I really liked them so much I used to just get hurt on purpose just so I can wear a Band-Aid, another Band-Aid. I have my you know, all covered Band-Aids. That led me to growing up, and now I'm into BDSM. But cool. So yeah, then you said, oh yeah, so the yeah, there's we have the, you know, U.S. down that Chinese balloon, and then there's 3 other UFOs. They actually identified one of the UFOs the other day. It was yeah, it was a 1971 Ford Pinto that was rear-ended. Yes. Other stuff that's happening. Gee, I'm trying to remember the other things, but oh yeah, you know, we know about George Santos, that lying congressman from New York, George Santos. They actually caught him out early that he was a liar, because he said he was a New York Mets fan and a New York Yankees fan. So that's and also the other day they actually found out that George Santos is actually 2 kids in a trench coat. Yep, and yeah. Also, remember when I was younger, I donated blood for the first time, and the nurse actually asked me what my blood type is, and I said I don't know. It's, you know, first time. So she takes a little sample of blood from the tip of my finger, and then she tastes it, and she says, "Oh, it's B positive. You had a chicken salad sandwich for lunch, and you live with your mother." Live with your mother. So yeah. So I don't donate as much as well. I'm glad I know what I can tell just that now. I donate. So yeah. What's the other things that was happening? Yeah, this is the latest in the news. You know, throughout the world history, there have been so many book burnings. If you think that Amazon Books can come out with a better name than Kindle and Kindle Fire, don't you think? Yeah, a little bit also world history. You know that Karl Marx was actually kicked off the Marx Brothers because he was not a team player and also not very funny. And the fire extinguisher was actually invented by Joan of Arc's sister. Because anyway, yeah, Joan of Arc. Okay, I think all right. I think I'm gonna finish up on this. I'll play a couple of songs. Gee, what was I thinking of playing? I'm gonna play how about Hawaii 5-0? I'll play the song Hawaii 5-0. And okay, here we go. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Thanks. And by the way, I'm also this is the same pencil I used to fail the SAT test. And I am available for birthdays. Bar mitzvahs. And also available for weddings. Okay, thank you. I'm Danny Dutchy. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. And all right, then, our first comedian from the Today Show. It's not an evening, but the Today Show. Very funny guy. He's back here again. The Doctors, Teachers, and Rock and Roll. Let's give it up to Blaine Langberg. Yeah, Blaine.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Celine, for having me. So here's what's important to know about me. As Danny said, I'm Blaine Langberg, and I live with my wife and my 3 daughters. And I work with 8 women at my orthodontic office. So I'm taking a course in estrogen immersion therapy. A patient once counted all the women and he was like, "Hey, doc, that's 12. What the hell did you do in a previous life to deserve that?" Obviously, I was blessed this life for what I did last time. And people often ask me, hey, you get to choose to hire the people you work with. So, all women, what's the deal with that? Are you discriminating? Like, what the heck? I said, no, I've had men employees, but the last guy I had was doing cocaine in the bathroom. I mean, he was in the bathroom all the time. So he either had a really small bladder the size of a mouse, or a prostate the size of an elephant. Then he comes out one time, blood on his nose. And I was like, either that's a really, really deep pick, or there's something suspicious going on in the bathroom. So I'm going with something really suspicious. So now, not that I discriminate, but women take really good care of me, and I don't think anybody's shooting up in the bathroom at this point in time. So my parents, to tell you guys this funny stuff, is they just got a COVID canine. Well, not just, what a COVID canine is when you're cooped up in quarantine and you're bored out of your mind during COVID. So you buy yourself a pet. Now, my parents are 78 and 76. You'd think they'd get an easy pet to take care of. Like, I don't know, a guiding eyes for the blind dog that went blind. Or how about a police dog with arthritis that was relegated to desk duty, that retired? No, my parents get a 3-month-old Shih Tzu named Maisie. Now, don't get me wrong, Maisie's cute and adorable, but they take such good care of Maisie. My sister and I, my 2-legged sister and I, are so jealous of that mutt. Maisie has more toys than we ever did growing up. They feed her way better than we ever got fed. They feed her farm to table. Now, the vacations they've taken Maisie on, our best vacation was to Great Adventure in New Jersey. Maisie's been to the 4 Seasons. In Hawaii, we didn't know it was the 4-legged seasons. And now that she's turning 3, they're planning her bat mitzvah. They're calling it her bark mitzvah. You know how much those cost? That bitch is cutting into our inheritance. And we just got a call from the lawyer. We have to sign some documents. We have to go thirdsies on the will. Unbelievable. So I think I told you guys last time, I'll remind you, I wrote a book called Journey of a Jubu. Not to do a shameless plug, but it's about a neurotic Jewish dentist searching for inner peace. Jubu stands for Jewish Buddhist. And last time I was saying, my dad told me he's halfway through the book. I'm like, that's amazing. How do you like it? He goes, oh, I haven't gotten to the good part yet. So now I checked back with him just a couple of days ago. I'm like, how do you like it? He's like, oh, yeah, you know what? It's really helping me. I'm like, oh, you're showing you how to meditate? Like I learned? No, I'm having a hard time sleeping. So it's really helping with my insomnia when I read it at night. So I just turned 50, the big 5-0. And you know, it's exciting for me. I'm watching 60 Minutes now. I'm down to 1 key on my keychain. And the thing that's annoying me though, is that people are aging me up even more than 50. I had lunch with a dentist who was 70 years old, 70. I go, how old's the patient that we're talking about? He goes, our age. I'm like, our age? Why are you generational lumping me? What do you mean our age? This guy grew up on black and white TV. I watched MTV. He still listens to the radio. I'm a Spotify guy. I'm still investing for growth. He's investing for capital preservation. And my daughters don't make it any better. All right. You know that term, okay, boomer? They say it all the time to me. I'm like, girls, clean up your dishes. Okay, boomer. Girls, fold your laundry. Okay, boomer. Put away your cell phones. Okay, boomer. I don't even know what that means. And the fact that it's disrespectful or rude, I don't even care. But the fact is I'm born 1972, Generation X. If they said, okay, X-Man, I'd be totally fine with that. All right, and one last thing. My patients are getting so disrespectful now. I had a patient who sits down in the chair, Seymour. His name has been changed for HIPAA compliant reasons. I'm like, Seymour, it's been a long time since we've seen you, 5 years. He's like, hey, Dr. Langberg, last time I saw you, my God, you had a full head of hair. What the hell happened to it? I'm like, Seymour, you better be careful because one day your Jewish afro is going to migrate from your head all the way to your back. So you just watch it. All right, I'm Blaine Langberg. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, Blaine.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Blaine. Yeah, it's yeah, your local dentist. Yeah, he looks. He could be like one of the X-Men, the leader of the X-Men. If you, yeah, without the
Professor
glasses or
X.
something, maybe wear contact lenses or something. Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, thanks, Blaine. All right, then. Also from the East Coast, our next funny woman, it's Marlena. Let's go for Marlena. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Well, that was really great. I want to give that guy a hand. And I'd also like to give a hand to all my healthcare heroes out there. I mean, the real healthcare heroes, you know, the ones that wipe asses. Where are my nurses? Any doctors out there? Yeah. Oh, the real MVP, I guess, are the morticians, right? You got to go in the box looking good. So we need those morticians. But seriously, I don't have a lot of docs out here. I mean, well, I do have a lot of docs, but some of those docs are probably back up talking to the nurses. You know what I'm saying? Because they used to talk to me too. But now since #MeToo, they got to talk to HR. That did happen. Yes. So I'm a radiologist. For those of you who don't know what that is, because most people look confused. I am not the one who takes your x-ray. No, don't know how to do that. And I don't actually give you any radiation. No, I don't do that either. And the favorite one, I mean, you guys all know about MILFs, right? Well, imagine I'm your DILF. I mean, I hear if I had a dime for every guy who asked me for a sponge bath, right? Hey, doc, can I get one? But no, you can't, because my job is to see right through you. That's right. I'm the radiologist that gets to see your bones, your muscles, all those sex toys you left up your ass. That's me. So I'm like a gamer. Do I have any gamers out there? Yeah, I play that high stakes Space Invaders with your toenails, your tits. I'm just throwing a testicle. I mean, who couldn't use another testicle? So after 25 years of doing this, I would say these eyes are like diagnostic snipers, right? Trained assassins, really. I'm like a superwoman, and my superpower is my X-ray vision. I mean, what's happening these days, it's always on. Like even when I'm out and about, I just can't turn it off. I was just in Starbucks this morning, like just to give you the world of it. And I'm like 5 people deep in line, but I'm waiting for my mochaccino, but I'm hearing some rustle up at the counter. And I hear this guy yelling at the barista, "Where's my latte? Where's my latte?" And he's coughing all over the place. And I'm like, oh yeah, 25 years of medical product here. The pixels, the ditzels, the black and white dots I've been looking at for years. It's all coming into focus. I'm like, oh, I'm on this. I know what he needs, right? I could see it. And the barista's timidly handing him the cup of latte. And I'm like, forget the latte. Get that guy a lung scan. Stat. And get the mortician too while you're at it, right? So, I mean, let me tell you a little bit more about the real side of me. That's all fun and games with my work. But what people really don't know about me is that I am a recovering people pleaser. And I mean, you probably don't know exactly what that is, but you probably have heard with Doctors Without Borders, right? Well, I am your doctor without boundary. That's me. And I'm hearing you. Where are my codependents, my co-peeps? Come on. Don't let me stand here. Pretty please, I'll be about. Don't let me stand here by myself. But seriously, I think you really want to read all about it in a book that's coming out by my best friend called Doctors Anonymous in March. And while I'm at the 12 steps, we just, I mean, I don't think it's all over there with my future patients, but it's over here too, right? We all have our thing we go to for comfort, that thing that reliably makes us feel good, right? An oxy for you, 5 for me. I mean, right? For some people, it's just some wine, we all have our levels. But really, I want to cozy up to something more than my dictaphone. So I tend to scan my men. I know what you're thinking, like, you date a radiologist and you get a free scan and that's all great and all, but no, this is special. I hear you, right? That's a perk these days. I have a special MRI for my men. It stands for Marlena Reads Into Shit, right? You probably think we're just going out for craft cocktails and I'm in for dissecting the details, right? That's what we're doing here. And the other thing I don't tell you is that I'm not even a first date faller in lover. Like, I don't know what I'm doing there on that first date, just hanging out, right? Because truth be told, I suffer from PTSD, you see? I'm still recovering from my 4th grade crush. Yeah, this guy wanted to express his love for me by hurling dodgeballs at my face. I'm still getting over that through medical spanking, the wonders of modern medicine. I mean, you guys probably remember back in the day, right? When you liked a girl, you would you'd pull her hair, you'd spit balls, you'd pull her bra, right? Well, boys and girls, nothing's changed. Dr. Marlena, it's been my time. Thank you.
Marlena, yeah. Thank you. I got the technical thing here. Okay, sorry. Mix up here. There we go. Okay, there. Sorry about the spotlight thing. So hey, thanks, Dr. Marlena. And yeah, but don't throw like any body parts at her. Just the ones. She's a specialist at. Okay, all right. I'm here. All right, then you're next, funny guy. Also, he's one of the stars of Good Timing, and he performs all over New York. And we're happy to have him here again tonight. It's Ziggy Susser. Yay! Give it for Ziggy.
Thanks, Danny. Blaine was talking about a Jewish Buddhist, and Marlena was talking about seeing through things. I feel like a Jewish nudist. The last time my wife let me make a decision was about 20 years ago when I picked the wrong cream cheese. She sent me to the store, and I didn't know, whether I should get, regular cream cheese, 1/3 less fat or no fat. So I did what any man would do. I did eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And then, it turned out, I'm 1/3 less fat, but that wasn't, I figured I need something strong. So I asked the woman next to me, would you buy, 1/3 less fat? And she said, are you calling me fat? So I said, no. Anyway, so, I get home and my wife looks and she says, I'm not eating that. I said, why not? She said, it tastes bad. I said, how do you know? She said, it's 1/3 less fat. I don't want to eat it. And anyway, why'd you buy it? Was it on sale, or are you trying to say I'm fat? I said, no. I just bought it because I thought it would be healthy. She said, that's the last time I send you to buy ice creams. So, I make bad decisions, but even when I don't do something, I'm wrong. Like my wife and I were visiting someone in Connecticut, and we were going to stay overnight. And when we got there, my wife said, did you leave the light on for the bird? And I said, no. And she said, we have to go back. I said, why? What's the big deal? She said, he's used to us turning the light on when we go to bed. I said, it's not like he's doing crossword puzzles, before he goes to sleep or anything. It's not, it's not a big deal. She said, it's also daylight savings time. I said, he's not wearing a watch. He doesn't have to, change the clock or anything like that. So, I talked her into not going back, but she called our neighbor who has a key to the apartment. And, she said to her, can you go in and turn the light on for the bird? And while you're there, you can take out of the refrigerator cream cheese that's 1/3 less fat. We didn't eat it. And I could hear her say, no, I'm not saying you're fat. I'm hoping that maybe in the future they could have like a clapper for a bird, I guess they'd call it like a flapper or something, and he can go flap on, flap off, with the lights and everything. My kids, they both went to the same out of town college, not at the same time, but whatever. So we would go there a lot. We would take them there, bring them home, have, family, weekends, whatever. So we went there a lot. And, one time I'm going there and bringing the kids up and there was a fork in the road and I didn't know which way to go. So I asked my wife, which way do I go? And she said, I'm not telling you. I said, I don't know which way to go. You got to tell me. She said, you should know. I said, I don't know. I don't remember. She said, we've been going so many times, how stupid can you be? Just decide, I don't care whatever you decide, just decide. So of course I picked the wrong way to go. And we went to a different college, saw a really good soccer game. I didn't want to admit that I made a mistake. So I transferred the kids to that college. And I never saw my kids. I never found my kids again. So I get home and I said, how could you not tell me, where to turn, and she said, how could you not know to turn left at the 1/3 less fat cheesecake factory? So she says, you're always, making the wrong decision. I said, well, I married you. She said, well, that was the last good decision you ever made. I said, so, why'd you marry me? So she said, well, among other things, 1/3 less fat. And, people say to me, what's the secret of a long marriage and stuff? And basically it boils down to this, that every decision you make as a man, you have to keep in mind, it's wife or death. And if you make the wrong decision, it's 1/3 less sex. Okay, take care, everybody. I'm Ziggy Sessions.
Yay, Ziggy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ziggy. Yeah, those are wise words. Yeah, wise words. Yeah. Thank you, Ziggy. Yes. All right, then now we go to Chicago. Where's the same curtains I do, I think. But anyway, let's say Chicago to very funny Denise Medina. Yay.
Woo! Thank you so much. It's so much fun to be here. I'm going to make sure I have gallery view so I can see all your smiling faces. Yeah, it's good to be here in Illinois and to be on the show. Although, taxes in Illinois are getting really high. So I'm not happy with the governor just taking all my husband's money because that's my job, stop, my name is Medina and my in-laws think I'm attractive, but in a weird kind of way. Instead of calling me a tall drink of water, they call me a tall drink of horchata. They call me whore for short because I'm sweet, I'm white, and not good for their son. Yeah. So, a lot's been going on. My dad, he had a rough patch recently, and he got sick and he got stuck with me taking care of him, which is not good because my nursing skills are somewhere between like Mother Teresa and a drill sergeant. No lie. Yeah, it's pretty bad. We fought constantly. He called me Nurse Ratchet.
Yeah.
But he's doing really, really great now that I'm not there. Yeah. He said it was mean because I forced him to eat my cooking. I can't cook by order of the fire marshal. He said it was mean because I forced him to take drugs and not the fun kind. And I said, Dad, listen, you can't smoke antibiotics. They won't let you. I asked. It's just, they won't let you do that. Neither will the fire marshal. But we did share a tender moment. We talked about the time he asked me what I wanted to put on Mom's tombstone. And I said, pepperoni, mushroom, onion, and green pepper. Because it's headstone, not tombstone. Tombstone is a pizza. And I love pizza. Yeah, pizza is so good. I love it. But I've heard people compare pizza to sex. But that's where I disagree because I have never been disappointed by a pizza. Never. All right, so it's that time of year. Girl Scouts are out there selling cookies. You buying cookies? You should support the Girl Scouts. I know they went up. They're now $5 a box. When I was looking for friends, I joined that gang, a vicious gang, and I became the leader. That's right, of the Girl Scouts. The greatest part about being a Girl Scout troop leader is my little daughter said that we spent more time together, but I actually spent way more time with this girl named Ashley because I liked her so much better. I mean, hey, she was my top cookie earner. What are you going to do?
Oh, well. No.
But that was also the worst part about being the Girl Scout troop leader is that collecting all the cookie money from these girls' parents. I didn't know how to do it. I was trying, and they were like expecting me to front the money, like they kept, I'll get it tomorrow. I'll get it tomorrow. I felt like a loan shark, and it's like, I'm not the loan shark. I'm not going to front $1,300. What? I am the dealer of the Thin Mints. So have a little respect, but that's what really got me. My co-leader, she was the biggest problem. She didn't understand, and she should have. She knew that this cookie cartel wanted all of their money by the following evening. So I found myself going to school and the next morning at drop off. And I was like riding in the car with her from school to the bank because she owed a lot of money. And the whole time I kept thinking, oh, never let them take you to a second location. You should never let them take you to a second location. I am so lucky to be here tonight. Yeah. And I love doing shows with you on Zoom. I love it. But I feel like I do have to talk about the pandemic because it's the elephant in the Zoom. We never needed mandates, and this isn't political. We just never needed mandates. We just needed better delivery systems. Like, I think we should have put the vaccine in a Twinkie or on a pizza topping or in a ho or in a hoe, Make it fun and delicious. I also heard people people put it in a blunt. Watch how many people line up for that, And I've heard people say, oh, but Denise, crackheads don't take the vaccine. Well, duh, that's because there's no crack in it. You need to put it in a pill so we can crush it up and put it in our cocaine and snort it up, I've also heard that people like to put stuff up their butts. So I think we should just put the vaccine in an enema, a suppository, or a gerbil, Just make it fun and delicious. And we would have been done with this a long time ago, but vaccines are still always going to be out there. So just for the future, keep that in mind. Vote for me for the CDC. This is all I'm saying. Thank you so much. I'm Denise Medina. Thank you.
Yay.
Yeah.
Denise Medina. Yeah, she'd be the director of the CDC. Man, the Girl Scout cookies, what a racket, huh? Yeah. Great. Thanks, Denise. All right, now we go to New York. Another one of the stars of Good Timing, a very funny guy performing all over New York City, all over the place. It's Tom Padovano.
Thank you. Honey. I went to my dentist. He said, Tom, this doesn't look good. That was before I opened my mouth. I went there. He called me in for a cleaning. He handed me a mop and a bucket. But this dentist is so popular. Getting an appointment is like pulling teeth. Maybe, I don't like medical stuff. And I even said to my doctor, Doc, what do you do when you don't feel well? He goes, well, I go to my girlfriend's apartment. I hug her. I kiss her. And I feel better. I said, is she home now? I was my ex-doctor. Anyhow, it's tough getting old. Now I got hair growing out of my ears and dandruff. I mean, do you know what it's like to shampoo with Head and Shoulders and ears? I'm losing it. The other day, I could not find my car keys. I was driving. Terrible. I mean, a lot of times I can't sleep. So what I'll do is I'll count sheep. But if that doesn't work, I'll capture a sheep and knit a sweater. Now to relax, because I'm a nervous person, I'll just look out my front door and my front window for hours and do absolutely nothing, which really upset the drivers behind me. They don't do that. I don't know. I'm even thinking, I went to this birthday party. This gorgeous woman jumps out of a huge cake. And my only thought was, wow, you know how much cholesterol's in that icing? Look, now there's crumbs all over the carpet. Now, for a while, I was dating this much younger motorcycle babe, but we had nothing in common. She rode a Harley. I could hardly hear. She asked me if I owned a Yamaha. I said, yes, I wear one at Jewish weddings. Anyhow, I think, my apartment is disgusting. It has bugs. And the other day, I ran out of Raid. So I sprayed a cockroach with Lemon Pledge. It died, but had a great shiny finish. Well, my love life is finished. I said to my girlfriend, honey, while we've been dating, have you been dating other men? She goes, Tom, come on. You're the fifth guy to ask me that today. Meeting women. I went up to this one woman. She said she wants to date 10 men at the same time. I said, I'm not into that. I'm monotonous. Oh, the other woman said she wants to date a man that's comfortable in his own skin. I said, forget it. I have psoriasis. But now I'm on the Elvis Presley dating app. Love Tinder. It's so good. Every time I sign in, somebody says, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, it's not easy, but let me tell you something. Always watch out for your health. It's so important. And my Uncle Luigi, he's always, every Sunday I go to church together with him, and every Sunday he prays the same prayer. Oh God, please let me win the lottery. Oh God, please let me win the lottery. Sky gets dark, and a voice comes from the sky and says, you want to win the lottery? Do me a favor. Buy a ticket. In it to win it. I'm glad I was in this show. Thank you, everybody.
Yay! Thank you, Tom Padovano. Yes, buy that ticket. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. It helps. Good idea. Yes. All right. Thanks, Tom. And now we go over to the next funny guy back here again. It's David Scott. Yay!
Hey, everybody. I can't stay long between naps. The other day, my grandson said to me, Grandpa, do you have any long-range plans? And he's kind of a smartass. I said, yes. I want my life and my 401k to run out at the same time. I want my last check to bounce. He didn't understand, so I had to explain to him that a check was a piece of paper from a bank. He still didn't understand, so I had to explain it worked like a really slow debit card. My name is David. I did not name my son David. I wished I'd named him Harley, so he can introduce himself as Harley, David's son. I'm old, so I like Facebook. Recently, a friend posted she was looking for a plumber to replace her water heater. I posted it might be better to replace the water heater with another water heater. Another friend posted, what makes you smile? I posted facial muscles. Another friend posted she bought a weighted blanket. I posted that at my age, every blanket is a weighted blanket. Another friend posted from work, you can't swing a dead cat around here without hitting a crazy person. I posted, if you're swinging a dead cat, you might not be the right one to judge who's crazy. Here's the problem. The older I get, the more questions I have. For example, is it okay if I name my phone Elvis because it dies every time I'm on the toilet?
Oh.
Apartments aren't apart, they're together. Shouldn't they be called togetherments? If vampires can't see their reflection, how do they get their hair so perfect? Instead of going to Starbucks, is it okay if I write my name on a cup, pour myself some coffee, yell my name out, and then set a $5 bill on fire? Is a frozen waffle on a Southern California beach San Diego In nursing homes, is the code word for toilet mustard, specifically gray poop on? Is it appropriate to RSVP to a wedding invitation by saying, I can't make it, sorry, maybe next time? Is it appropriate to take a couch that's sitting by the curb if it's in front of a furniture store? Is taking it to the streets by the Doobie Brothers a song about trash day? If you ask for change for $1 at the dollar store, did they just give you a different dollar? If I open a small piano store, should I have a baby grand opening? If they're forever stamps, why do I have to buy more? I asked that question to a postal clerk one time. She thought for a second and said, because they're not forever. So I left. That conversation was over. Thank you. I'm David G. Scott.
Hey, thank you, David. Thank you, David. Yeah, many questions and very good questions, I might add. So, thank you, David. Yes. Right now we go. Still in New York. Your next funny person. Let's see. But okay. Let's say something. But anyway. Okay. We're just gonna say something about your background. I forgot. Okay. But let's give up. We're always happy to have her. It's Georgia Metz. Yay.
Yes. How do you know I'm a miss? Come on, Danny. He knows I'm a miss. I was a Mrs. Or first I was a Ms. Then it became a Mrs. I spent $60,000 so I could be called now a Ms. Thank you so much. All right. Back to my pre-marriage arrangements. And so anyway, I was listening to a lot of great stuff there. I was thinking about what more I could add to that, that wonderful amount of funny jokes and talking about our professions, and that I am, retired nurse, which was RN really means in the end, retired nurse. And my friends at work say, what do you do now that you're retired? I said, it's pretty hard to undo the 30 years of going to work in my uniform. So I actually wear my uniform at home sometimes because it's not form fitting. And I can eat and snack all day long without my pants getting tight because it's a drawstring top. It hurts me because it doesn't help me with the discipline. And then the top doesn't have any darts or A line or B line. It's just a square, you know how it is, just a square top. So I'm free to engage in whatever I want to do in the kitchen. So I find myself, actually, I went over to the hospital, which is just a few miles from my house. And I said, it would be really cool if I could just eat in the employee cafeteria just for once without worrying about running upstairs. So here I am in my uniform. I still have my ID. The guy from security looks at me. I said, oh, yeah, you must have been on vacation when I was hired. My name is George. I work upstairs in a critical care unit. He fell for it. Go ahead. Right down to the cafeteria I go. I get the employee discount. I'm sitting at the table. I'm eating. 2 visitors come over to me. They go, hey, what are you doing down here? You've been having lunch for an hour and a half. I've never seen a nurse even take a lunch, let alone you're having. I said, I'm sorry, ma'am. We have a union now, so you can talk to my delegate. I'm entitled to a break. I'm taking yesterday's lunch and today's lunch at the same time. Okay, that's how things are going on my floor. But then people stop and ask me for help, and I said, Jesus, I gave up my malpractice insurance, but I do have an active license, and I was wondering how far can I really go with the pretending to be a nurse? I mean, wearing my uniform and pretending to be employed. So then I started saying, I better get out of here because with my luck, I'll be bumping into a malpractice lawyer. And then next thing you know, I'll be in my fantasy 3-way. Me, a judge, and a lawyer. That's the last time I don't know why they think nurses are promiscuous. I mean, the idea that I could be running around with techs and medical students and residents and all that. That only happens on my day off. I mean, come on, will you? Take care of patients and fool around at the same time? It's not possible. Somebody's going to get the short end of it, and it better not be me. So I was looking around to see what I could show you what the tools of the trade are. So these are bandage scissors, and I used to wonder why, because this is a blunt tip. So if you're changing the dressing, you're not going to dig into the skin. And so I said, all right, you know what? If I want some overtime, I'll use my daughter's construction scissors, try to change the dressing, cause another wound, and then I can work an overtime shift tomorrow, back to my bandage scissors now. I wouldn't dare do it. Not after the way they treated me. And so I found this. My God, this is, I can't believe how old this is. My goodness, I'm cleaning my house out. I'm finding these things. This is an ice bag. Can you imagine? Now, you have to go for, now listen, I want to tell you right now, this is great for eye-hand coordination because you have to open this thing up. This is why I'm late. My manager says, why are you still here? Look how long it took me to open that. Then you have to put this little thing underneath the ice machine and try to direct the ice cubes into this little bag. Then whatever cubes fall on the floor, don't caution, floor's wet, and then you make a run for it. It's like, you fill this up with ice and you put it on the patient's, whatever their boo-boo is. But this is 5 pounds, 5 pounds of crushed ice. I said, you know what's better served? Pour alcohol in here, my favorite cocktail mixed with vodka, close the top up, put a hole in it, make a straw out of it, and I'll just use it as a, yeah, right. I'm gonna do, actually, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that next time. Instead of bringing a thermos to the beach, I'll fill this up with ice. I'll have people feeling sorry for me. Then when I get up after drinking in the hot sun, I'll fall over and they'll escort me to the car. Works out perfectly. So my friends asked me, what do you want when you retire? What kind of gift do you want? I said, oh, I want something in a leopard print.
Yeah.
Yeah, works for me. It fits right in here in my, oh, I have another set about breast pocket, but I have to wait until next month. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Hey,
Bye.
thank you. Georgia Metz, everybody. Also, she's available for consultation, but takes cash only. That's what I was supposed to say in the beginning. So thank you, Georgia. Yeah. All right, then. Now we have this very interesting guest. He's known as the ancient baby boomer. So let's give it up for the ancient baby boomer. Yeah.
Woo! Oh, where did it go, Danny? Boy, hey, I always love coming to this show. You young people make me feel so alive again. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh, you know, I've been trying to find a way to exercise to feel young, look young like you. I tried to get one of these, what do you call it, the bicycle there with the screen on it, the Camp Pendleton bike, the Pelican bike, the Pendleton bike. You know, back in my day, we didn't have such a thing. All we had was Richard Simmons sweating to the oh, you have to pull the VHS tape out and put it into the player, and you turn it on. There'd be this chunky little elf dancing up and down to Bill Haley's "Rock Around the Clock," and you'd lose weight because your stomach would get so sick you'd be vomiting for days. Yeah, things are easy for you young people now. Like when you want to insult whole groups of political people, all you gotta do is type a little post in your little hoopy doopy phone there. You know, back in my day, all we had to do was troll people one phone call at a time. You have to pick up the phone and then you have to dial the number, with the rotary of. And you go, hello, George. Yeah, this is Ted. I want to let you know you're a commie-loving, left-wing, pinko snowflake Yeah, it was like, you know, like, even the same way, like you young people want to research something, you just go on, what's that called, a googly, and you look it up. You know, back in my day, we had to only use Encyclopedia Britannica. You wanted to find what was the annual production of bauxite in Finland. You'd have to pull out the F volume, and you'd be pulling and pulling so hard that all of a sudden all the volumes would fall on top of your chest, and it would crush your chest cavity, and you'd be drowning in your own chest fluids, and it would hurt for days. Yeah. It's just that even now, when I'm exercising, I get thirsty, but I go to the store, all I see are these fruit-flavored carbonated drinks. What are they? Why? You know, back in my day, all we had to drink was Kool-Aid. Yeah, you'd be outside throwing crab apples at each other's head, and suddenly you develop a thirst for purple colored red dye number 5 liquid. And you'd be shouting, "Hey, Kool-Aid!" And this giant pitcher of Kool-Aid in human form would come bursting out of the wall, shell little defenseless bodies with concrete chunks, and it would hurt for days. It's just like, you know, why you guys want to like watch teen movies, you know, and with real teenagers in them. Back in my day, we had to watch teen movies portrayed by old people, like the entire cast of Grace. You'd see a 49-year-old Stockard Channing dancing around, and between takes her dentures would fly out. It was just something. Yeah, it's just like even though you got these fancy electric cars and you're worried about all your little whoopie doopie lights coming on your dashboard. Back in my day, the only thing we could ride in was Corvairs and Pintos. Cars that were unsafe at any speed. Oh, I'd be sitting in the back seat, and suddenly somebody would rear end the car and would blow up and be flying through the air and through the stratosphere. And as our little bodies came plummeting back into the Earth's surface, the last thing we could think of was, this is going to hurt for days. I'm getting tuckered out just complaining about it. So we'll give it back to our nice host. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.
Yay! Woo. Our ancient baby boomer. Let's give it for our ancient baby boomer. Yeah, don't you hate it when the Kool-Aid guy just wrecks your wall, you know, like once a month or something? Yes. He's all over. He's worse. He gets more around than Santa Claus, I guess. I know. Alrighty. Yes, thank you, ancient baby boomer. We can learn a lot from him. Alrighty then. Your next funny person. She's a junior senior citizen, a board certified emergency medicine physician, and most important, she's a cougar. So let's give it up for Elaine Wesley. Yay!
Ellen. Guys, it's
sorry.
It's Ellen. It's Ellen.
Wesley.
Although Elaine is a very nice name. And comedy is the new Kool-Aid, guys. Comedy is a new Kool-Aid. Now, I love comedy because I can get dressed up, leopard shoes and all, to go into my living room. Yes, I love that so much. I get dressed up to go into my living room. I wear makeup. I wear all these things I don't usually wear. And it's so much fun. And yep, I am a cougar. And I'm Marlena was talking about being a people pleaser. Yes, me too. I am like trying to get reformed people pleaser. I want everybody to be happy. It started a long time ago when I was a very little girl. And you know, when I was a little girl, I looked, and I was never little because Jewish children are not good little. They have to be fat. And I was fat. And my brother was fat. Ugh, never little. But anyway, I thought maybe I'm adopted. And I asked my mom, kind of more to torture her, am I adopted? But it turned out I'm not. I look a lot like them. You know, I'm just not like the rest of my family. I'm nice. And I have a regular job. And well, the bottom line is I'm just a mutant. That's all. I'm a mutant Wesley, unfortunately, or fortunately. So, and I'm an emergency room doctor. I am. And you know what? And I have ADD. And I took my medicine today just for you. As this set is brought to you by, well, you and my guilt, right? If this set is brought to you by 36 milligrams of my ADD medicine. You're welcome. And yeah, I mean, I was trying to put things together. It's so hard to put things together. And I just all these ideas everywhere, you know, it's like I have all these IQ points, and to try to get them to work as a team is a real tough thing, you know, it's a really tough thing. I mean, I suppose I should meditate, but then I would have to sit still. Sometime I will though. But you know, they need to work together as a team. So I'm an emergency room doctor, and that's sort of like a very, very high stakes cocktail waitress, only with blood and naked bodies and not the cute outfit. We don't get a really cute outfit, but I love it. You know, I mean, I can help people. And if I can't, and if somebody's kind of nonsense, there's always somebody else I need to run to help them. The real hard job is not my job, it's the nurses. Because if there's trouble in a room, like a bad smell, say there's a bad smell, I can start to help and then I can sneak away because, oh, the nurse will be right here. It's mean. But you know, we have a getaway free card, the doctors, we have a getaway free card. But so I have this new job. And I have to tell you, the floors are clean at this new hospital, guys. Clean floors. Oh my God. And since emergency medicine, just like comedy, is portable, you know, you can, you know, I fly to one place and rent a car and I go, and it's an entirely different sort of a part of the world, you know. It's in Southern Illinois, and that's sort of like near Kentucky. They have monster trucks there, guys, monster trucks. I mean, the one monster truck had lights on the wheels of the monster truck. So there was this lady, you know, there's racism in places, you know, and there's racism, you know, and it's real. And I'm a humanist, and I went in this woman's room and I do what I usually do. You know, she was a white lady, and I'm sort of white. I'm ethnically challenged, but I look like a white person on the outside. Not really necessarily proud of that. But anyway, so I go in to see this white lady, and she looks at me. I said, "Hi, I'm Dr. Wesley. How can I help you?" And she goes, "You are so white." What am I supposed to do with that? So I got help. I got help from a comedy guru. And I said, you know, sorry, I didn't have time for a tan in between patients. And I wait till after work to take off my skin. Thank you so much. So, you know, people are just demanding bastards sometimes. And sometimes, like I mean, my favorite is to take care of kids who think they're crazy. And because you know what? I can help them to know that if you're afraid you're crazy, you're probably saner than everybody else. And I want them to feel safe. Just like you're going to feel when you know that this is 67 years old. You don't have to give up just because you're 50 or just because you have hair in your ears. You too can be a weirdo as you get older in life. Anyway, and if you're single, I am a cougar. I am on the market. And always remember, a funeral is not a sad event. No, it's an opportunity for you to find young men. Thanks, guys. I'm Ellen.
Yay! Thank you, Ellen. Ellen Wesley, everybody. Woo, yeah. Sorry, I knew you're in summary. I don't know why I said healing. I was just reading other things there. But thanks, Ellen.
Thanks. Sounds like
sorry
healing.
about that. It was just,
Helena and I are related.
yeah. I mean, the letter E, I guess, or no, I don't know, it just means. Alrighty then, thank you, Ellen. And now your next funny guy. It's time for Alex Glatt. Let's hear Alex. Woo.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. For, after you hear my spiel, I don't think we're going to be very happy. Because some people say prostitution's the oldest work. It isn't. Tax collection is. I'm a tax man.
Oh.
Yeah, I was waiting. All right. Well, the rest of you didn't boo, so I'll put your cases at the bottom of the pile. You say tax agents have no heart. It's, of course, mailed in without job acceptance letters. We take everything, bank accounts, salaries, the jewelry. We don't get respect from any other law officers. None. Yeah. Cops put tickets over our window signs, even if the meter hasn't gone off yet. We move our signs, they put the ticket right over our sign. Respect? Forget about it. I get stopped for a broken taillight by a cop. I ask him for professional courtesy. He looks at me, smiles, and he says, I finally got one of you guys, huh? I get the ticket. I can't even get on a jury. On a panelist, the attorney says, what do I do? I work for New York State. And he shouts at me, what do you really do? I'm a tax agent. The audience boos me. Goes over to another guy. He says, what do you do for a living? I work for the city of New York. What do you really do for a living? Shouts at him. I'm a tow truck driver. They hiss him. Man, I'm telling you, I guess tax agents are better than tow truck drivers. They booed me, they hissed him. Well, I'm telling you, there's a strict pecking order. You know, but we're both like better than attorneys. I'll tell you that. Because even an attorney, he's thrown off a boat, the sharks will throw him back on the ship saying professional courtesy. I actually did get on a jury once. I had a warrant against that judge. I got thrown off that case really quick. Some agents never get a break. While sleeping at his desk in the lunchroom, somebody crazy glued his hands to the table. He couldn't get away. He had to wait around until somebody found some nail polish remover. Then we took a major movie star's bank account. That was funny. This whole agent and entourage came up. Demanding we release the guy's money. It was his grocery money for a week. $9 grand. We kept it. Well, he said he's going to get the Godfather involved now. I said, all right. We still kept it. Even our family lawyer, guy who should know better, he didn't file his returns. Why? He represented himself. Everyone knows. You represent yourself. You have a fool for an attorney. Didn't work out. Ritzy Flores, Midtown. He says, you can't see it close my place up. No, no, no. Your warrants are too old. They have to be freshened. I'm a sheriff. I just signed the warrants. He paid his bill. Then we seized the store with the cooked frying an egg. He spots a roach, hits it with a spatula, flips the egg, puts it on the roll, gives it to the customer saying, extra protein, no charge. Years after I quit my job, my own CPA accountant father figured we wouldn't catch up with him. Sure enough, I come home, he says, oh, I got a warrant. You got a what? You realize the kind of crap I had to eat going back to the office, giving him the check. The only fun I had was when I palmed the check on one of my old buddies. Didn't get away with it though. On No Sydney Green Street. Some people come in asking for extensions. We tell them we're not plastic surgeons or miracle workers. We say take away, we don't give away. Then, you know, it's just fun. We go to close up a restaurant one day. I go to the basement. Locksmith follows me down. He pulls his gun out and shouts, get out of the way. I said, what? What? No, I'm going to shoot that rat. There's a worker beating a rat the size of a cat. The worker runs away. I scream at the locksmith, what do you want to do? Kill the only fresh meat they had in the place? You know, I'm telling you, things that go wrong all the time. So I thank you very much. You're a great audience. It's been nice hearing all of you. And I hope I didn't pull any teeth by telling that joke.
Hey, thank you, Alex, Scott, everybody. I think my teeth are still all there, except my wisdom teeth for some reason. Yeah, thank you, Alex. All right, then. Your next comedian, she's going to be performing July 16th at the Chicago Laugh Factory. Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah, and also she does interviews with comedians, even celebrity comedians, and she hosts comedy shows for the military. So let's give it up for Linda Marcus Smith. Hey.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Danny Detchi. So I'm Linda Marcus Smith, and I'm from the Upper West Side, not the good one. No, the one on the Upper West Side of the U.S. map, Oregon. I shoplifted all the way through the 60s. So imagine my surprise when a bank hired me to teach the skills to tellers and new accounts and loan people. What were they thinking? I came on board in banking in 1971, and that's when they threatened to have what was called truncation. Had nothing to do with elephants. It had to do with doing away with paper. You know, they were going to go paperless in 71. They're still not paperless, just so you know. Yeah, I'm telling you, I had to forgive a lot of things about banking. One of the things was they expected you to dress like you got your clothes at Nordstrom's, but they paid you like you worked at Dollar Tree. But I forgave it. Because I'm a bigger person. I forgave it, and I forgave a whole lot of other stuff in my life. Like I made a list of stuff I forgave. There's no sense going around with baggage. That's why they have that place at the airport. You can go claim it. Yeah. When you forgive everything in your entire life, you are weightless. You become childlike. You light up a room. Every time you forgive somebody, a miracle happens. Helena and I have been finding that out. I now cause problems. I make people be mean to me so that I can forgive them. I'm addicted to forgiving people. Would somebody please be mean to me? Yeah. You know, one thing that's really hard for me to forgive is John Wilkes Booth. Not that I went to high school with him or anything. But do you know he was an actor and he got famous with one headshot? Almost unforgivable. Right, actors? Okay, fine. You know, another thing that's hard to forgive is the way you get treated by coffee baristas. Oh, you look good for your age, Linda. Well, you look great for a dropout from the hair club for men, but I'm not saying anything. You look good for your age. You just reminded me I'm aging. Shut up. You look like Marilyn. Oh, yeah? Well, I Googled her. And if she was lucky enough to look my age, I'm way hotter. Yeah. You know, I had a comedy club in my hometown tell me that, no, a big compliment. They said, you have so much potential. So much potential. But no matter how funny you get, we're not going to book you. What's wrong with people in their compliments? Stop with the compliments, or else just give me the first half. They said that they couldn't, you know, they'd never book me because I'm too old, ageism, and I got nothing in common with the young people. So I wrote another list. It's the same list, but just for example, all the things I have in common with the young people. Because I know the young people love one night stands. So do I. And that's why I get mine at IKEA. Yeah, a lot to choose from, and you can only afford one. So they want you to pick it out by color. I refuse. This is 2023. I'm woke. I pick mine out by height, weight, and girth, Danny, because size does matter, even at IKEA. Thank you. That's my time.
Good to know. Yeah. All right. Linda Marcus Smith. Yes, you can catch her at IKEA. Easing things up. Yes. Thank you, Linda. All right. Your next funny guy. It's time for Robert Lopakin. Let's get for Robert. Or should I say Bob?
Thank
Bob
you.
Lopakin. Yes.
Thank you, Danny. Maybe give me an audible. I can't really read the chat. Marlene was talking about, and I'm a dentist, I'm not a real doctor, Marlene said, so I guess I have to find not a real DILF. I'm not sure how that would work. We're talking, my wife and I have done some traveling. I want to talk about that. We love to travel. We've been on a number of cruises. We play a game. We track all the different ports we've had sex in, and I kept a list. Last time I looked, she was way ahead. Now we love to travel, but I hate commercial airlines. They treat you like cattle. I think last time I boarded a plane, I could hear the flight attendant say, Angus to the left and Holsteins to the right. Those are cows. We travel coach most of the time, or as I call it, last class. Where your boarding pass has a letter on it that corresponds to the order you can board on. People really take that letter seriously, and if you don't believe me, try to get on before your letter's called. I do what everyone else does in last class. When we walk through, we try to peek through that curtain into first class to see what those people wasted their money on. I think that curtain separating first and last class is something out of a David Copperfield prop room. In first class, you see the flight attendants look like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt handing out champagne, caviar, and hot towels. And as they walk through that curtain, they transform into Morticia Adams and Uncle Fester, pitching crackers and juice boxes and wet naps at you, each with their own price tag. In first class, the luggage, the aisle seats, and the headphones all included. In last class, I had to pay extra just to get an assigned seat. It's becoming like the subway. Soon you're going to have to wait for someone to stand up so you can sit down. I once paid $30 to get an extra legroom seat. They charged me $60. I guess they figured I wanted extra room for each leg. First class has 2 bathrooms for 20 seats. Last class has 2 bathrooms for 200 seats, which explains why the lunch they served was rice and bananas. Sometimes I like to travel alone, but someone always wants to tag along, like my wife. Just before lockdown, I and my wife were heading to Rio de Janeiro, bikini capital of the world. Now, she packed 10 sundresses, 6 bathing suits, 5 pairs of flip-flops, sunglasses, sun hats, sun blocks, I packed binoculars. We were at the airport. I saw a sign on the wall that said, "Passengers with suspicious luggage may be detained and are going to miss their flight." So I quickly got the weed out of my bag and I put it in hers. TSA will inspect any specific bag if you slip them a few bucks. Now, we recently came back from Paris, a great walking city. My wife bought that really potent perfume, the one you smell as you're walking up and down the Champs-Elysees. The one they should rename Chanel No. 2. But I loved the bidets. They were everywhere. I loved the bidets. They were everywhere. My feet have never been cleaner. And the museums are fantastic. They made my vacation because they kept my wife busy while I roamed the streets. We went to the Louvre. I left after 20 minutes, came back 6 hours later. She didn't even know I was gone. Once in Iceland, Very popular after 9/11, I guess because people felt that it was too cold for Middle East terrorists. There's literally no population, no traffic, no diversity, no daylight. Other than that, reminded me of Long Island. With the amount of darkness they have, you'd think they have a larger population. I don't know. We were in Scotland, once, beautiful country, but the food and the music sucked. We had to drive on the wrong side of the road for 2 weeks, riding on the other side of the street. It was terrifying until the last day when she let me drive. Yeah.
Oops. Frozen. Uh-oh. Speaking of Frozen.
Oh, it's frozen.
Okay. Oh, all right, Bob, you're frozen. Not there. Okay. Maybe get closer to the camera. It might break it up. No. Okay. All right. I think that's about it. Okay. Well, thanks, Bob Lopakin and World Tourist. Letting us know where things. Oh, there you are. Hi, Bob.
There he is.
Sorry.
Off a joke. You broke up for a moment. You want to tell no one?
Okay, I'll do this last one. Lots of distilleries. Every restaurant served haggis, the traditional meal of savory pudding containing sheep's heart, liver, and lungs, minced with onions, oatmeals, and spices, encased in an animal's stomach. I gotta tell you, doesn't sound quite as bad as it looks. And we searched for Loch Ness, but the monster remained underwater. I would hide too if I knew haggis and bagpipes were waiting for me at the surface. I'll stop there. Thanks so much, Danny.
Yeah, thank you, Bob Lopakin, everybody. Yeah, thank you, Bob. All right, and closing out the show is also the co-producer of Doctors, Teachers, and Rock and Roll, and also one of the stars on Good Timing. Let's give it up for Elaine Witt, everybody.
Thank you. I wanted to promote and share about Danny's shows that he has in person in San Francisco. One is called Neck of the Woods, and it's Tuesday nights in San Francisco. And then Buzzwords is Wednesday night. So that's he's paying me to say it. Well, when the Girl Scout leader was talking about the Girl Scout cookies in Chicago, I took out my Girl Scout cookies out of the freezer and I started eating them. I want to be a good patron. I want to support the young girls. So I just ate a whole box. Funny. Feel sick to my stomach. No, but they were delicious. And I'm glad to help your daughter and my stomach to get those new stretch nurse's pants like Nurse Georgia had. I wanted to talk today about something that happened to me. You know, they have this GPS that's like, it's like Waze. I was gonna say Gauze. It's like Waze, but it is a real human being. It's called, I've been having it for years, and it's called, what's it called, Linda? Wow, I've seen your moment. I should be on Good Timing right now. It's OnStar. It's OnStar. I wish I could say that was a joke. So anyway, I'm in Manhattan. It's a Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. And I called to go back home to Queens where I live. And I call it, and the machines on OnStar says, please be patient. It's the pandemic. This was 2 years ago. It's the pandemic time, and some of our workers are working at home, and you might hear a baby crying or something. Just be patient, please, and understand. So I call up, and I say, the lady goes, hi, this is Brittany. How can I help y'all? So I said, Brittany, I'm in Manhattan. I'm at 5th Street in Manhattan, and I want to go to Bayside. I gave her my address. So this woman from Boise, Idaho, doesn't care. She's at brunch. You could hear the mimosa glasses clanking in the background, and you could hear it's obviously not a baby crying in that. Please be patient with our workers who are working at home. No, she's at brunch. It's Sunday at 11. in Boise, Idaho. So she says, okay, you're on Fifth Avenue and you want to go to Bayside. So what does she do? She takes me to Fifth Street instead of Fifth Avenue because in Boise, it wouldn't matter. But in New York City, during the Gay Pride Parade, which was going on, it was 3 hours extra because she's drinking mimosas, and she's drunk, and she puts me on Avenue instead of street. In New York, it's a big deal. That's the point. So what happens? I'm in the middle of the parade. They're rocking my car back and forth, back and forth. I had to roll down the window, play Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It, go in the trunk, put on a flannel shirt, and still they're rocking my car back and forth. I couldn't get out of there until I said, wait, did you know I'm Melissa Etheridge's mother? And I'm a lawyer and a minister, so I was able to marry her and her wife. Then they finally let me go. Unbelievable. So the moral of the story is use your ways, because that lady didn't know the difference between Avenue and Street. Boise, Idaho, it doesn't matter. In New York City, you're stuck. You get the point. Anyway, I also wanted to talk today. Something you didn't know about me. I worked at Genentech, which is a genetic engineering company. In 1980, I worked there and I was a word processing operator, and it alleviated all that Me Too nonsense. You didn't have to wear the high heels. You didn't have to buy the boss's wife a Christmas present because we weren't in a secretarial role. We were in like a pool. It was like a typing pool, but it was word processing when it first came out. See, Danny, I worked in South San Francisco. Anyway, I didn't have to raise anything on my boss to get a raise, if you know what I'm talking about. And it was a pleasure to work with my friends, and we mindlessly did word processing of these scientific papers that eventually went to the FDA, and everybody got stocks. And, my roommate got a house, a restaurant, another guy got a ranch, but that's not funny, so I'll go back to the joke part of it. Anyway, my friend Maisie, who worked with me, decided to go with one of the scientists who started his own bioengineering company, and it was called Monoclonal Antibodies. True story. And then she started her new job. She left Genentech, and here's what she had to do all day. Monoclonal antibodies, good afternoon. Monoclonal antibodies, could you hold please? Monoclonal antibodies, this is Maisie. Could you imagine saying that all day long? She should have stayed at Genentech, because we had these parties every Friday night. That's not funny either. That's just a little history about my company. So anyway, I also want, Danny, I can't see if you're telling me my time's up.
You got a minute or so. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, okay, a minute. So I wanted to talk about the fact that I've been on Zoom now 3 years instead of 2. And, instead of pound signs here, parentheses here, exclamation points here, you can send a text message on my face. Well, things have gotten a little bit older, and now I have an accordion here. I got marionettes here. I got the Lion King and Avenue Q on my face. If they had these bags in the Rockaways in Queens during Hurricane Sandy, the A train never would have stopped running. Well, thank you everyone for being on our show tonight. And thank you, Danny.
Yeah, thank you, Elaine. Yeah, thank you, yeah. And thanks everybody. That's your show, and we're here every Wednesday, folks. We're here every last Wednesday of every month, including February and January and all the months. So let's give a big hand to all the comedians who performed to you tonight. Blaine Langberg, Marlena, Ziggy Susser, Denise Bendita, and Tom Padovano, David Scott, Georgia Metz, and the ancient baby boomer, Ellen Wesley, Alex Glatt, and Linda Marcus Smith, Bob Packard, and Helene Witt. And I'm Danny Decci. Thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting the show. Have a great day, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
Good
Bye.
job,
Doctors,
Elaine.
teachers, rock and roll.